Good morning. It's a new day. It's time to finally get this thing working, considering all of the headaches I've went through and that I now know what needs to be done. So what I'm going to do is to this one, the same thing I did here with the flywheel bolts. I'm going to try to crack this crank pulley loose, and after that I'll remove it, get access here to the front cover, remove it, and I'll see what I can do about this gear. Since this is rebuilt 55,000 miles ago, it shouldn't be that much of an issue. So let's hope it actually comes off, because if not, I'm back in the same boat and I am fed up with this. So happy. I've been literally searching on end all night trying to figure out where I can get this. This is what I need, because mine's chewed up. Check this out. It's moving off. Look like, and this one has been chewed on the side from the gear, or usually the Woodruff key goes straight up and down, but roughly your top to center as long as you're on the right stroke. But now we've got our oil pump drive gear off, we're going to install the new one. Say to ease the installation, I'll just put some oil on the inside to lube it up so it slides on nicely. This little shaft end comes on the side to you, like the snout of the crank, as your crank pulley will sit on that. The Woodruff key is positioned. Whatever you do not force it on until you know it's in the right spot. Because the last thing you want to do is damage your crank. Now what you can do here is use a block of wood and slightly tap it on. To give it some persuasion, it's usually once it goes on most of the way, it'll slide the rest of the way. Just like that, it's on. So now we've got the engine flipped over. I've got the front worm gear on. What I'm going to do now is remove these two transmission mount or transmission support / mount plates, and I will get to taking the oil pan bolts off to remove it. The oil pan is absolutely covered in little shavings, just fine sludge shavings. Probably safe to say. Just because of this, it sheared that whole thing off. You know, as you guys know, it's my favorite part. Look at that difference. So fresh. So trash. Be the moment of truth. all the work was for nothing. Well, after 3 tries, the distributor gear appeared to be in top dead center. First 2 times I had it, it was placed straight up and down. The 3rd time I cocked it slightly right past top dead center marking on the distributor and spindle. Slid it in, perfect. About 11:30 position. There's nothing. Well, that was promising. Alright, let's get some cooling in there and I'll be back. What's going on, guys? It's a new day. I had to kind of, well, it's a couple days later, I should say. I kind of had to take a break on this specifically because it's kind of giving me a run for my money. However, I did just discover something pretty good. If I unplug the mass airflow sensor, it runs better. When I plug the mass airflow sensor back in, the car dies out and it runs like crap. Keeps way steadier idle when it's running. When you rev it, yeah, it's a little choppy, but so that leaves me to cleaning it. So now I've got the one on it that was on it here. First I'm going to try to remove this one, clean it. Since I've already cleaned this one before, I'll just remove this assembly, spray. I've got some carb cleaner, usually use MAF cleaner. It evaporates a little faster, but I'm going to switch that out and see if it runs better. I kind of already filmed a ender for this video. It was more or less me saying screw it, I'm selling it. But after a little thought and talking to someone that I was supposed to buy a motor from, but it fell through, I'm not getting any power to cylinder 3. What's going on is, more or less, I can switch my injectors between cylinders and it still persists to cylinder 3. So that's telling me the injector is not bad. So essentially my wiring to that connector, which I cut off, respliced, again, still getting no signal. So what I'm doing is I've dug down into the loom. Now I'm digging down to the power where it taps in with the rest of them, because they all run off of one wire. I may just run an alternate wire to it and then run another wire from the trigger wire at the ECU for cylinder 3. I think that's what I'm gonna do, but we'll see if that helps. All I did is put a vampire clip on, ran that trigger wire to the injector, and still hooked this up to its, that's technically the trigger, this is just the power. It's not very promising. I'm getting 12-volt power from my clip here and to the original wire as well. What I'm going to do is to this green wire, I'm going to test the continuity between that, and I'm going to fish my multimeter back through this harness plug so I can see if this is actually working right. That will lead me to think that maybe my ECU's bad, which I really hope's not the case, but I think I got a replacement. Signal wire for the injector 3, which is this third from the end, green and black stripe. And if you hear that, we're getting continuity, so that's leading me to believe my ECU is bad. So I think I'm gonna go open it up. I'm gonna look for a burnt like solder joint or anything inside of it and check for another ECU while I'm at it. I'm about to find out if this works. We're gonna plug it in, see if she'll start with this. This one looks way cleaner on the inside for sure. If it starts, that's a plus. And we'll plug that in. I'll switch the computers back. I'm not putting more money into this thing. I almost think it'd be better just to catch it on fire for you guys. Alright guys, I think I'm here to hold this L. Turns out I checked the continuity between the signal wire, which is technically the ground wire, cylinder 3, and I'm getting continuity between the ECU pin and the connector. I'm also getting 12 volts of power to the power side, but I'm believing my ECU's not grounding out the signal properly for my cylinder 3, and it's causing it to misfire. So now I'm really at the mercy of buying a new ECU. It's definitely better than spending $400 on a new wiring harness. I didn't see why this one wouldn't work after I've cut it all open, but that's definitely going to conclude it for this video. There's really not much more to see. It's just a bunch of repetition of troubleshooting and going in circles, especially now that I understand what's actually wrong with it. I never would have figured that out doing what I was doing. But the next time you see it, it'll probably be when I'm selling it, because I've just got zero interest in it anymore, and now that I know I just need to grab a computer and plug it in, it's good to go. Let's get her out of here. But anyways, if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button down below and tune in for next time. Peace.